Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the football manager version of what I guess is supposed to be Lavelle Edwards Stadium. So, if you've ever seen the stadium in real life, we have a lot of mountains there, and it's got a very, very scenic outlook over on part of Utah County down in the sort of central part of northern Utah. This stadium, however, has absolutely no scenery at all. Everything is closed off, and it's got some sort of a roof that's over the fans, which is not realistic at all and is actually kind of a disappointment. So I guess this is sort of like a futuristic like rendition of it or something. I don't know. Whatever, we'll take it. We just need to get the ball off of them as soon as we possibly can. You might notice a couple of odd things happening with the graphics here. It's because I've turned our quality down yet again. I just spent the last hour and a half messing around with OBS trying to get settings that work so that the game would stop glitching out on me, and it's still not entirely perfect. So I'm still looking around for things that can be done. I would think that a computer that's only 4 years old would be able to provide better quality than this, but unfortunately this is kind of what we're stuck with for the time being. Silvis with it over to Bowden. Bowden has got to cross it, and he doesn't. Rocha ends up taking the ball off the defender. That's a really strange bit of defense there by Maryland. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to do. I'm also a little surprised that we didn't have a replay since Rocha had it right there in easy scoring range. And just didn't happen. And here's Connerty, and that's 1-0 Maryland. And boy, that was a real defensive problem on our side there. I'm not quite sure how we allowed that to happen. So they get the ball up here in an attacking position, and Connerty just sort of runs. That's what happens. He runs past his man. What happens is Alpha Doe tries to tackle him and misses him completely, and that's got to be Alpha Doe's mistake. That's what happened. And it's 1-0 Maryland just like that. Well, so much for the magic tactic. Daly passes over to Silvis, back to Daly. Daly needs to cross and instead passes it back to Gallagher. Gallagher crosses to nobody, and we've given the ball away. Son Hyun-Tek with it now, and he looks forward, finds Daly, who's probably offside, and Silvis is fouled, but there's no call. Bowden tries to shoot from point-blank range and can't get it on target, and that one will go out for a goal kick. Daly was onside, actually. And Bowden should have scored. I'm not sure if he forgot where the goal is or what's happening. It's the sort of team that we have here, right? As you've seen, and as I've told you about before, we don't have any real transfers going on. And as a result of our transfer-less state, we just have to use the players we're given. And Rocha with a huge attack and a big goal. And I don't know what happened in the Maryland defense there. I was about to say, we have a whole bunch of players who are inconsistent and who don't have good determination or good anything. And so we shouldn't expect much from them. And as soon as I say it, then we get a goal like this. I mean, Rocha just bursts in behind the defense and has the keeper one-on-one and scores that major goal. Not bad. If we could do a little bit more of that, I'll be a little bit happier, and I'll be able to sort of forgive the game for wasting an hour and a half of my life trying to get the game to run smoothly again. Bowden with it now. Back to Daly. Daly up to Bowden. Bowden back to Daly. Now over to Silvis. Silvis back to Chris Gallagher. Gallagher with it, and he's in a crossing position and passes it instead to Silvis over to Son Hyun-Tek, who we haven't seen much of because he's been injured, and he shoots it from range and nothing happens. Daly throws to Bowden, back to Daly, who crosses this over for Williams, I think it was, and unfortunately nothing happens there either. And so that is the way that this one starts out. 1-1 is the score, and it was a good attempt by Williams, but unfortunately for him, not quite good enough. And let's see how we do here. So I'm still not quite sure when it comes to this non-conference schedule exactly what impact this has on us, whether we win or lose. Rocha with a shot that's deflected and Frey, the goalkeeper, is able to grab that with the hands. No problem at all. Kicks this one up, and it's with Williams. Williams to Doe, back to Son Hyun-Tek, to Williams again. Williams knocks this forward for Garcia. He finds Rocha, and he's got Aldana. Does he see him? No, he takes it himself like an idiot. And this one goes nowhere. I mean, Aldana was there in an excellent position. He just had to lob that one forward a little bit, and he would have had a one-on-one. Bowden with it, back to Alpha Doe, back to Chris Gallagher, over to Silvis. Silvis now decides to bring this up right side over to Daly. Daly looks forward, finds Bowden. There's nobody there to cross it to, and I don't know where Aldana was. I mean, you have one job, man. Cesar Aldana, you have one job, and he didn't do it. I just said, all we need him to do is just go into the middle and be there. And he wasn't anywhere to be found. And so what can you do? You just have to shoot something on goal with four guys standing around you. Rocha now over to Garcia. Garcia passes forward to Son Hyun-Tek. and he's dispossessed Alpha Do, though, with the header to save us. Back to Silvas, over to Gallagher. Gallagher looks forward, finds Daly, over to Bowden. Bowden, and his pass is into Rocha, and I don't know how he missed that one. I mean, it should have been a goal. That absolutely should have been a goal. They say that, that looked really good. It just needed the finish. Yeah, this needed a much better finish than this, man. I mean, yeah. He just hits it wrong. That's it. He just hits it wrong. He toes it. That's it. Rocha over to Bowden. Bowden takes us forward, finds Daly. Daly with it now, and Daly, instead of passing to Aldana, passes to Rocha again. I think we've forgotten who the striker is. What's happening to Cesar Aldana? How is he so quiet in this match? I mean, this guy's been scoring like crazy so far. I know he dislikes big matches. So is this a big match playing against Maryland? I don't know. Daly with a very dangerous tackle and ends up just giving the ball to the defender he was trying to keep it away from. And, we have a few defensive problems, I would say. Here's Rosales. Rosales kicks this one forward, but Corn is able to jump up and grab it. No problem at all. And he holds on to it, and he's going to deliver this. And this one goes over to Frey, the opposition goalkeeper, who is able to trick Aldana away from that. Cesar really should have been all over that pass, and that was pretty poorly done by him. And, I just saw, as you probably saw as well, the match momentum pop up saying that we've had the momentum the whole game, but we haven't been able to score much. Rocha here, and he scores his second. As soon as I say it, this has happened before in this save, as soon as I start berating these players here in real life, they go out and score for me. That was actually really good there by Jim. I liked that. I liked that a lot. So Silvas here with his pass over to Rocha, who is barely onside. He corrals it and then gets it into that zone. He just needs to go fire from the left side, right? We saw when he's standing in front of the goal, he bursts it to the left. So we'll just have him on the left side the whole time, and he can do whatever he wants from there, since he obviously can't shoot straight. Corn with that one, that was kind of dangerous because we didn't have our defenders back. I mean, we only have 3 of them, so we are playing with fire. But Williams over to Garcia. Garcia passes forward to Rocha. Rocha now looking for the hat trick, can't quite find it. And Aldana is just sort of running around like he doesn't know what he's doing. Chicken without a head. And that's all right. I guess he's probably got some personality defect or something that enables him to have poor matches once in a while. A penalty's been called. Is that for a foul or for a handball? I'm guessing it was for a foul. And it has been awarded, and we're, of course, not going to be able to see why. I didn't see anything at all. So here comes the penalty from Maryland to tie it, and they score it, and it is tied, and it's 2-2 now, guys. What's going on? So I started this off upset with my computer for having to spend so much time messing around with various rendering settings. Big part of the problem is that my graphics card is old, which means I can't use the really nice AMD graphics card rendering. Before I was using the software, what is it called? X284 or something like that. And the problem with that, of course, is that it was pushing my CPU much harder than it should have. So when I was trying to switch around to other things, what has happened is we've lost a bit of quality in terms of the actual screen rendering and all of that. And that's the problem that we're sitting at right now. So we're going to put Jimenez on here in place of Matt Williams, who's not having a good game. The question is, do we take Aldana off or not? I'll show you him really quick, right? I can't remember if I've done this before or not. Actually, I was wrong. He likes big matches. He just doesn't have that determination. I think that we'll go ahead and keep him on for the time being. Just not having a good match today, and I'm not quite sure if I fully understand why. So while I was trying to get the graphics card to work, I did run through a few versions of this match, but it was only about 2 minutes of each before I would get upset because it wasn't working right. So I don't know what is supposed to happen. In none of those matches was there any sort of score by the time that I quit. Your guess is as good as mine. Silvas passes this over to Daly, and Daly gets to it, passes back to Silvas. Silvas walks it in and shoots that one over the goal. I mean, if we had players who could play, if we had players who could shoot well, we would be ahead in this match. Instead, it's 2-2, and we're not looking very good. Son Hyun-Taek takes that down over to Jimenez. Passes upwards to Alpha Do, and he finds Silvas. Silvas will take this up himself just like he's supposed to. Silvas up to Daly. Daly down to Bowden, and Bowden shoots it from the middle of nowhere, and that's not even close to the goal. I'm sensing a pattern here. Unfortunately, because I'm using Mr. Cheaterman tactics, I'm not really going to go through and start making major tactical changes, as some of you probably would recommend I do. We'll probably keep that for the next save. I'm thinking that might make things a little bit more interesting. Here is Aldana for the first time, and he sort of walks the ball straight into where the keeper is laying on the ground. Yeah, if anyone from Sports Interactive is listening to this, I would recommend changing this depiction of what happened. I mean, because that's totally ridiculous that he would do that and not try to, circle the keeper there. But I don't know, maybe I need to train him better or something. And Silvas is able to get this one out and finds Aldana, who has his second highlight of the young match. And he just runs past everybody and scores a goal. So there's Cesar Aldana. That's the reason why we kept him on. I mean, if it's that easy, let's give him the ball every time and just have him do that, right? That was one of those old school type goals, right? The ones that you read about in like inverting the pyramid, one of the real old like 1920 style English goals where one guy just takes the ball and runs up the field with it. That's the way they used to do it back in the old days. 3-2 now BYU, and let's see if we can hold on to this lead without relinquishing it again. And I don't know, here's Rosales with a free kick up to Thompson, and Korn barely able to grab that one. His foot was across the line, but I suppose that the ball was not. And I don't think that we're going to see any goal line technology to show us how close it was. Roca with it, and he passes it back to Jimenez over to Doe now, and he is taken down by Brown. And Brown almost reaches that one, but doesn't quite do so. But he does intercept this pass. However, we're able to hold on to it. Silvas to Daly, back to Silvas to Gallagher. Son Heung-Tech now over to Bowden, and then back to Doe. Alpha Doe passes to Gallagher over to Silvas. Silvas to Daly. Daly looks forward, finds Bowden. Bowden, and he needs to not shoot that. He really needs to cross that because he had two men standing right there with nobody on him. We need to cross. We need to learn how to do this. It's not that hard. All right, so we're starting to see the time sort of rush on by. Alpha Doe is calm, but not really having a good game in any of the highlights I've seen, but he has a 7.1 rating, so maybe he contributed to a goal or something. I don't know. Maybe I didn't pay attention. Doe over to Jimenez. Jimenez passes forward to Daly. Daly passes this one forward to Aldana, and it's called back for offside. Aldana was pretty clearly offside. And I think that's kind of his game plan, which is just to sort of move forward, forget about, who cares where the defenders are. We're just going to move forward and try to get the ball. Roca now with this, sitting on a possible hat trick, and has a absolutely ridiculous kick at it that goes out for a goal kick. I thought they were going to call offside there for a second, but they decided not to. And Gallagher looks like is having a particularly poor match. Everybody else is doing okay. Jimenez now with his ball in kind of a strange position over to Daly. I'm not quite sure how Jimenez got the ball there. Were we fouled back there? I would love to see what happened before that. Daly ends up with this ball. Looks like he was over the line, but that's because the graphics are turned down so far. Son Heung-Tech over to Roca. Roca to Aldana, who's not in much of a position, and he gets in one and just sort of toes a shot that goes way wide and high and over the goal and over everybody's head. I mean, I guess it was worth the shot, right? Might as well. Doe over to Jimenez, back to Korn, over to Jimenez again, back to Korn. I sense a pattern here. He knocks that one forward, lumps it forward, and Roca winds up with it. It's with Garcia now, over to Silvas. Silvas needs to pass it. No. He decides to take it up and shoot it. And, he walks it up to Frey and then shoots it right at him. And, good job. That was a good shot on goal, right? Kind of a ridiculous performance here by us so far. Two fairly good goals. Actually, three, because that one by Aldana was actually fairly good. I'll give him credit for that. Bowden here with the shot from range. Here's the free kick, and Frey is able to keep that one out, and Gallagher with a chance on making a goal and hits that one straight off of Frey's arms, and that goes back for a corner. So that was surprising. Ended up much better than I was expecting. Garcia now with this, and he's going to take his time, but he doesn't have all the time in the world, looking for Gallagher and can't quite find him. That's knocked back for another corner, and we'll wind this one up. We'll try it again. And first, I guess we'll take a look at this. That was a good shot by Bowden, and Frey did a very, very poor job of trying to grab onto that one and gave Gallagher a chance to sort of blast the ball at his arm. Garcia now will take this corner, and so we will see this highlight, and it's salt on it, but it's only back to as far as Silvas. Garcia with it again over to Gallagher. Gallagher, and tries to be really fancy with it and ends up healing that one back and over and on top of everything. And I mean, you know the drill by now. I don't want to make any more substitutions. I'm getting a little bit lazy when it comes to this, so we'll just go ahead and let these guys run out until they're really tired. Bowden with the free kick now, and he's going to deliver this one up and over a number of heads, I believe. And let's see what happens once he does so. Here it goes, and up it goes over to Jimenez, and that's over everything. That will be the end of this match, and that is the end of full time. We have won this one 3-2. Not really a match that we deserve to win. We had an XG of 4, which is nice, 65% of the possession. Having said that, we have a lot of defensive problems, and I would argue that we have a lot of problems on offense as well. You can see, if you're looking in the background, you can see this game sort of glitching, going on and off, on and off. If you know what's causing that, let me know. That's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to get rid of. That's the reason why the graphics quality is so low, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There you have it. I will talk with you again and have more update and let you know what's going on. Talk to you later. Bye.